Hi, everybody. Hello. I've had a couple of questions from friends on Instagram. I think it's something that people our age, probably I'm 30, so people our age tend to have these questions. Like, oh, should I put money in an RRSP? Or should I put money in a tax-free saving account? Or should I put money in a non-registered account? And my favorite answer as an account is always, it depends. And it really does depend, right? There's a lot of factors you have to look at because each individual's case is different, right? I mean, take me roughly, right? I'm 30 years old. I've been working full time now for about 6 years. I make, let's say I make between $50,000 and $100,000, right? At this point, I probably don't make enough money to fully take advantage of my RRSP. For me personally, the money that I do save, I put through a tax-free savings account, right? Now that doesn't mean that right for you, right? You have to, again, you have to work with your professional or do some research on your and see what's best for you. Now, what are some of the advantages of each tax-free savings account or RRSP? Well, let me start with tax-free savings account, right? For me, tax-free savings account, it's a bit more flexible, right? So, I think the maximum up till 2020, you have about $75,000 of room, which means you can put up to $75,000 since inception. And every year you get the room increases, and historically it goes up by about $5,000 every year, except for 1 year I think it went up by $10,000, right? So you can put money into tax-free saving account, you can take it out, and next year you get that room, you can put it back in, right? And it's flexible. It works for me, right? Because at this point in my life, I don't earn enough to fully take advantage of a tax RRSP. Now, what are some of the benefits of an RRSP? Now, RRSP, again, like tax-free saving account, you get a contribution room every year, and that contribution room is, it's based on how much employment income you make, right? I'm not going to get into the details, right? But essentially, you get an amount every year you can put in. And so let's say you make $100,000 for an example, right? And, you put in $10,000 into your RRSP. Now, the advantage of an RRSP is, because you put $10,000 into the RRSP, CRA or the government is only going to tax you on, say, that $90,000, right? So that $10,000 you put in RRSP, you're not going to get taxed on, kind of thing, right? So it lowers the amount of taxes you pay, essentially, right? And another advantage of an RRSP is, as the name implies, it's a registered retirement savings plan, right? It was meant for people to put money in it so they can draw from it when they're older and retire. And the idea that is, when you're older and retired, you're probably not going to be earning employment income, which means your overall income, you'll go down a tax bracket, which means you pay less taxes. So when you draw money from that RSP, you're not going to be taxed on it at a high personal tax rate, right? So you're basically deferring the taxes to a later year when your income is lower. So those are the two main advantages of an RRSP, right? Eventually, right, I'll get to a point where it will make sense for me to put money into an RRSP, but for now, it just doesn't make sense for me personally. Your situation might be different. Your situation might be that you've already maxed out your tax-free saving account room and you're looking for a bit more tax savings. Then RSP may make sense for you, right? So, the answer of it depends really does depend on a lot of these things, right? You can go online, do some basic research for yourself, right? You don't have to be an expert to figure that out. You can take some basic numbers and run the numbers. You're like, okay, if I put my money in a tax-free saving account versus RSP, what's that gonna mean for me, right? So, ask. I'm here. If you tell me your situation, I can give you an answer if I know all the facts. So it really does depend, right? So you each have to look at your situation, from your from your situation point of view, right? Because it's not a one size fit all when it comes to tax, right? You could have factors. You could be married, right? Your wife could be, or your husband could be making money. You could own a business, right? If you own a business, so you're self-employed, you probably don't have a lot of RRSP room, which means you won't be able to take advantage of that, right? Maybe you may have to go down the tax-free savings account route, right? It could be that, there's a lot of factors. That's the bottom line. So if you have more specific questions, I'll be happy to help. So shoot me a text. I'll